Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the Masterpiece Shoe Channel. Today we are reviewing the Gaziano Girling Rothschild. Just some information about this shoe. This is a DG70 last. It's their classic round toe last, I believe. And I've had this, I want to say, about 7 years. It's a size 9.5, standard width, UK. And it's been resold. I'll get into that a little bit, but you know, this is one of their most beautiful Oxford brogues. So let's just get into it. What struck me about the shoe is not only the broguing. You know, I saw this in a department store. I think it was yes, it was a Ralph Lauren, and you know that these guys do farm out their products under different, or their shoes under the Ralph Lauren name. And I did see this in a showroom once, and it just struck me. I was like, no way, you know, who'd ever seen Oxford brogues like these, or Oxford wingtips, excuse me, with these kind of broguings. You know, it just dumbfounded me when I saw. I was like, there's no way there's such a thing as this. So if you guys look closely, I mean, the broguing work is insane. You know, if you look at the medallion right here, you know, look at that. That's, you know, this is a little scuff right here. Don't worry, you know. I want to show you guys the shoes as is, what a shoe looks like after 7, or what a Gaziano and Girling shoe looks like after 7 years. I'm not going to touch it up like everybody else does. I want to show you the shoe as is, the way I wear it. I do polish it about once a month. The thing is, you know, when you own like 7 or 8 of these things, you're going to be spending hours. So, you know, I try to, you know, squeeze them in here and there. But if you guys look a little closer right here, I mean, look at the broguing work. Look at the perforations. They're so clean. And, you know, when you compare them to like these lower end dress shoes that you guys see in the mall, I'm not going to mention any names, you know, they're just not this clean. And look at the stitch work. You know, I always comment on the stitch work, but the stitching is so tight. Look how close each stitch is. I mean, that is something you do not see in a department store shoe. Let alone if you look at the way that they're cut. You know, I still need to figure out what do they call these things? These triangular ridges or whatever. Man, they are so clean. You know, when you guys look at lower end cheaper shoes, you know, they're frayed. They're not as detailed. Right? And another thing about Gaziano Girling is that if you look at their welt, you look at the stitching on the welt to the sole, I mean, that stitch count is so high. You're like, you know, it makes you think like, how in the world did they get that so close? Right? And the thing is that, you know, most shoemakers will not space them that close. I don't know, maybe it's too hard or something, but you know, I don't know what it is. These guys, they just stitch them amazingly close. So in addition to that, this did have the original oak bark sole, and I did have this resold after about 5 years. You know, like I said, I do walk on, you know, hard asphalt all day, and there's a lot of wear and tear. And so, you know, I had them resold to the Winsome sole, and I've had these, I want to say, for maybe like 8 months. And these just hold up like no other. They're super hard wearing. And the thing is that, you know, when you resole shoes with a rubber sole, you can see that, hey, this is a rubber sole. First, you know, only because rubber soles, when they re-welt them, you know, they tend to stick out further away from the last. So it's almost like you get sort of like this duck feet kind of look. You know, the width is typically increased. But the thing is with these Winsome soles is that, you know, they cut them as close to the last as they do an oak bark sole. So when you look at it from a top like this, you would have no idea that this is a rubber soled shoe. Only when you lift it up like this, then you notice, oh my gosh, this is a rubber soled shoe. So, you know, this is kudos and a testament to the handwork of Gaziano Girling. Their ability to make rubber soles look just like leather soles, it's incredible. In addition to that, you know, the way they redid the heels, I mean, you can't even tell that this was resoled. I mean, look at the work on that. It's so seamless. You know, I know it's all beat up here because I think, don't worry, you know, if I polish that up, it'll all go away anyways. But the way they redo these things, it's almost like you never noticed that, you know, this went in for rework. So in addition to that, I use what is it, a Scotty Boliget shoe tree. And you know, this one, it does work with the DG70. I noticed that there was a little bit more stretch when I use a Scotty Boliget shoe tree on the DG70. If you look at the DG70 toe, you know, even though they do say it's a round toe, it's actually sort of a narrow round toe. Now let me explain the DG70. It is actually a much narrow last. So some of the issues I had with the DG70 last is that it was narrow, and I always found it to be narrow. So when I did have them resold, I did give instructions to Gaziano Girling saying, look guys, you know, this is quite a narrow shoe. Is it possible to somehow make it wider? And they said, absolutely, no problem. We can actually widen the shoe if you'd like. Not to an F width, but they can actually increase it a little bit more for those people that are somewhat in between an E and an F. So when I sent this in, I gave them instructions. Hey, look, I do have wide feet. This is quite narrow. And to my amazement, they did actually increase the width. And once they did that, oh my gosh, these are so comfortable. And you know, like I said, with Gaziano Girling, you can wear them 12 hours a day and you don't need to be, your foot won't be screaming like, please take them off, please take them off. So, I mean, kudos to Gaziano Girling. In addition to that, you know, their leather quality is like no other. You know, they source one of the highest grade leathers on the market. You know, I wish you guys can touch this because it's so supple, it's so soft. And you know, this shoe, it just looks much better as it gets older. Me personally, I hate brand new shoes because, you know, the patina doesn't build up till over several years. And what I did for this particular shoe, I want to say, you know, it is a brown, but what I did was, you know, I'll use like black cream to accentuate the broguing, but I'll use a burgundy cream, and I'm talking about both creams at this moment. I'll use a black cream to accentuate the brogue, and I'll use a burgundy cream to darken the shoe. Me personally, I don't like shoes that are light brown. I think it's just hard to match a light brown shoe, and typically I don't like the way that it looks, especially when you're wearing like navy blue pants. It just drives me crazy. Like I see a lot of people doing that, and excuse me, and it just I don't know, it's just I like darker shoes for some reason. So in addition to that, you know, their service is excellent. This build quality is great. The thing is about with this particular shoe is that the heel's actually a little bit slightly higher than the Cambridge. Oh, you know what? Forgive me, folks. I take that back. The Cambridge heel sits a little bit much higher, but this one sits more neutral. But either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, you know, like I said, I do have an arch on my foot, and this, you know, has arches built in. I think that's just the way British shoes are made. They do accommodate for an arch, and you know, like I said, you know, these are probably one of the most comfortable shoes or brands that you can ever buy. It does take time because the weight of yourself will make an imprint on the cork in this shoe. So once it makes an impression, man, it's just that much more comfortable. So with that said, That'll be pretty much everything for the Gaziano Girling Rothschild. 9.5 standard width, but slightly modded, slightly opened up. In other words, the width has been slightly increased during the resole per my request. But I want to say that this is probably one of the most beautiful wingtip brogue Oxford I've ever seen. So once again, thank you for watching this video. Hit the like button, subscribe, and tell your friends about it. Thank you.